All right. What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to Keyboard Warriors, presented by CrossFitMMA.com. I am your host, Eddie Law. We have the panel of assholes, of course. At least two of us, or three of us are, and then one classy motherfucker. Of course, from Gem City Fighting and Stand And Bang Radio MMA, or MMA Radio, whatever. Fred Kirby. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? What's up? How are y'all doing today?
Look, all the shit we just went through right now with the intro's fucked up. I had it written down. Not even kidding. Anyway, and of course, from Stand And Bang Radio, Aaron Robbins. What's up, man?
The website's called Stand And Bang MMA, asshole.
Okay, is that how we're going to go? Is that how we're going to go now? All right, from standandbangmma.com. We're good?
Yeah, because we're not on fucking tic-tac-toe MMA right now, are we, asshole?
Okay, whatever, dude. Time out. Is there a website called Tic-Tac-Toe MMA?
Nope.
No.
Okay, I'm just asking. Anyway, all right. And from the other side of the motherfucking planet is Andrew Reed. You guys actually heard us talking about this dude all the time. He's always tweeting in shit, you know, and always making fun of Fred and whatnot. Of course. So from the other side, from England, Andrew Reed. How you doing, man?
I'm not too bad, guys. Thank you very much.
There you go. Hold the mic. No. Don't do that again. Just hold the mic like that, like you got a tiny penis in front of your mouth the entire time.
Aaron would know.
It's Fred, you mean?
Yeah, Fred.
We're starting early. All right. Let's get right into it. We're gonna talk UFC Condit versus Alves that happened this last weekend. Couple things here. The bonuses were kind of weird-ish. Charles Oliveira takes home $100,000 for fight of the night and performance of the night. And I think Condit took the other $50K. Let's talk Charles Oliveira against Nick Lentz. Aaron, you watched that fight. What'd you think of that shit?
No, wait a second. I thought Condit did not get a bonus.
Sorry, not Condit. Fuck, who took the other one?
Lentz.
No, yeah. Lentz took fight of the night with Oliveira, and then Oliveira took performance, and then somebody else took something else. I thought it was Condit. I guess it's not.
No, Condit didn't get anything. What did I think of the fight?
Yeah.
I think that probably went as well as possible for a guy who had an 11-month layoff. Looked great. Right away, people started chirping about, I want to see Matt Brown versus Carlos Condit. I don't want to see that fight. I think Carlos proved that he still has all the juice that he did before the Woodley fight. In my opinion, he was turning it around in the Woodley fight before his knee blew out. So either give me that rematch as soon as Woodley's healed up for a title shot after that, or let's see what shakes down in the after the title fight, and then that Carlos fight that next.
All right, and of course, just like you said, he blew his knee out against Tyron Woodley. Comes back and looked like a motherfucker. Fred, Thiago Alves, of course, we know he's been going through injury things of his own. Gets his nose destroyed, just crushed his shit. Okay, when you saw that in the middle of the rounds, you think there was any chance we're gonna keep going?
Do I think that there was any chance they were going to let the fight go on?
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, but I'm glad they didn't, man. That fucking shit was bad. That was a fucking horrible break on his nose. But I tell you what, man, I thought that Carlos Condit looked good, but not great. Quite frankly, I thought the first round was a little shaky for Carlos. I think he was getting pieced up a little bit, and he looked a little, I mean, it had been a long time since he fought, and he was coming off a fucking injury, too. So I thought he looked a little rusty in the first round, and quite frankly, that big fucking elbow he landed pretty much single-handedly changed the complexion of that fight. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a great fucking elbow, and it made it look like a fucking kill it is. But up until that point, he wasn't a world beater in that fight. So, that being said, Matt Brown is going to be shitting on the Dirty Bird soon, and we're not going to get to see that fight regardless. So there's that.
Yeah, and Dirty Bird meaning Tim Means, and I think you and one Justin Huffman, we're going back and forth talking about that fight. So I guess we'll see that next. All right, Andrew, with Conor coming back to that kind of performance, let's say you're Dana White or Joe Silva or whoever else, would you make that title fight? Would you give him the next shot?
Debatable. I think he was rusty. That was the problem. As Fred said, his timing looked pretty off in the first few minutes of the first round, but after that, it was just the same guy we knew, isn't it? Just destruction. So I think probably one more. I can't understand why he's not going up the rankings. I can't understand why he didn't get a bonus. Somebody's got something against him somewhere.
Hey, very possible. And I thought for sure you were going to say that Alexander Gustafsson should get the next shot at any weight.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I want to see Gustafsson against Robbie Lawler. Screw it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Wait a second. Before we go on, first off, welcome to the show, Michael Caine. Holy fuck. Andrew Reed, you've got the best voice I've ever heard. That's awesome. Adding a little class to the show. Doesn't that fucker sound just like Michael Caine? That's because we're racist against British people. We think you all sound like Michael Caine. And, second off, Thiago Alves, just for the ignorant asshole fans and some of the ignorant asshole commentators and analysts, Thiago Alves' nose, not going to his fucking forehead, you morons. That is physically impossible. That was swelling from other damage. His nose was fucking crushed back in his head. So all you fucking idiots, get out an anatomy book and realize that shit can't happen. It ain't fucking Photoshop, man.
Look, well, because I think they watched too many fucking what's his name? You used to train Anderson Silva, fucking Aikido guy. God damn, I can't remember his name.
Steven Seagal.
Thank you, Steven Seagal. That motherfucker. You seen that shit in his movies? That's about it. Nowhere else. All right. Any other performances out of that card you guys want to talk about from let's go with Andrew first. What was your favorite fight of the entire card? What's that? I'm sorry.
Probably the Condit fight. That I was looking forward to that. He did what I expected him to do. Alves came out as expected of him. Yeah, it was a good fight. I enjoyed that. That was the best one.
All right.
You know what?
What's up?
Hold on, wait. There's something funny going on with Andrew's mic. I think it personally hates him. Because I tell you what, when he touches it, I hear it rustle loud as a goddamn rattlesnake in my ear hole. But when he speaks, it comes on faint like a whisper in the wind. Your mic knows your bullshit, Andrew.
It just doesn't want me to communicate with you guys. That's what it is.
Hey, Andrew, seriously, stop dropping your mic, bro. Just keep it up by your goddamn face.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
What about you, fucking Eddie? You know what, Eddie? You always fucking hit us with all these hard-hitting questions. What was your fucking favorite performance of the night, other than the big fights? You cute
This
little
guy said hard-hitting questions. Hard-hitting questions. I got, the softest questions ever. That's all I got. All right.
You also got all the fucking fights pulled up right in front of your pretty face, I know.
I do, actually. They're right here.
I know, I can tell the way you're looking at the fucking screen. So, you enlighten us. What fight should we be talking about?
You know what? I am a big fan now of Mr. Mirsad Bektic.
Yeah, there you go. Fucking do your job, Eddie. Correct the fucking show. Jesus Christ.
All right, I got you. Stop being
Aaron, go.
Aaron, go? Okay. We got the inside track from Will Brooks on our last show to watch out for Mirsad Bektic. And I think Fred was talking about how Martins was a killer. And when you put those guys up side by side, yeah, Martins does look like a killer. But from what I understand from everybody we've talked to at American Top Team, keep an eye on that Mirsad Bektic. And the way he finished that fight, the ability to take down Martins, that was a very, very slick performance for a guy who has very little experience. And I have to imagine for as young as he is, the guy's probably going to be real frightening here in his next 2 or 3 fights.
I have to agree with that. I know you guys actually had 2 ATT people on your show, and they both actually talked about him. Jessica Aguilar saying that she actually knew from when he came in that he was going to be really good. So, Andrew, Mirsad Bektic, what do you think of his performance and maybe like his future in the UFC?
I must admit, I wasn't particularly. Martins wasn't as good as I thought he could have been for that fight. I think that Bektic just basically did what most people from ATT can do.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we heard that. Anyway, you know what? It's funny because they have ATT versus Black Zalians on the probably the most garbage tough season we had in a long time, or ever. They don't seem to do that very well in that season. Okay, as far as their ability.
that whole ATT versus Black Zillion show is bullshit. Did you see the fight? Did you see how they picked the fighters? They're just like, yeah, this guy shows up just about every day, so we're gonna put him on the show. Yeah, this guy's got a little bit of experience, but one time he went and got me a fucking coffee. That was really nice of him. So I guess we'll put him on the show. Fuck you. There ain't enough talent coming out of that one gym. That's the problem with that show, is that if you go to any, and it doesn't matter if it's a UFC gym, American Top Team, Black Zillions, it doesn't matter. There's 4 guys that are in Bellator or UFC or some big organization. And then there's 25 guys that ain't worth a shit that they use as punching bags for all the other guys. And you got the punching bags from both gyms on this fucking show.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. All right, let's move on here. Let's talk about Norman Park. And he says that the Brazilian judges are a joke. First of all, I know Aaron's tired of Norman Park, and we know his opinion. But Fred, what do you think of Norman Park?
I fucking second Aaron's opinion, which isn't fucking rarely the case, but it's enough with Norman Park already.
Yeah, and look, the whole thing with the Brazilian judges, you can't let a fight in Brazil go to the judges. It's not going to fucking help you. That's just not happening. Aaron, or Andrew,
always with the racist shit with you. Always with the racist
What'd I say?
You're fucking saying that Brazilians fucking do home cooking. It's a known fact, says Eddie.
Listen,
okay, you know what? I'll tell you this. At the UFC Mexico card, it's going to happen.
I got your back on this one, Eddie. Listen, fucking Fred. Brazilian isn't a race. Have you seen the diversity over in Brazil, you fucking retard? It is a goddamn country. It's not a race. And we all know that they cook the books over there. We all know they cook the books. Hey, shut up. You know goddamn to finish a goddamn fight. There's a lot of diversity over in Brazil. It's not a race. You shut up. Let's move on to Ryan Jimmo getting his nuts crushed, because that was a fucking highlight of the night for me.
That, to me, look, I fucking fell over laughing. The straight kick to the nuts. And look, the doctor looked at his nuts, the ref looked at his nuts, he looked at his nuts looked at his nuts. It was all fucked up. I thought for sure, I was like, dude, just end the fight right here. And dude, I nearly fell asleep during that fight. Andrew, you got to see that fucking soccer kick right to the nuts. I mean, come the fuck on. That was on purpose, right?
That was a cock shot to end all cock shots, that was. It was just fucking outrageous. I mean, that was planned. There was no miss. There was no, oh, that was an accident. I was going for the thigh. That was straight to the bollocks.
Yeah, and I will tell you. I tell you what. Somebody, I can't remember who tweeted it out, but it's pretty funny, and it's apt because then that fight sucked. It said his puke bucket got the most action out of anybody in that fight.
Yeah, dude, he was puking on the side right there. It was pretty fucking hilarious. I thought for sure he was gonna stop. He was gonna not tap out, but he was gonna be like, "Oh, I can't fight anymore." In that case, do they call that a no contest, or do they give him the win? Did anyone know? Because I think
no, I don't. I believe that would go to a no contest. It was accidental. I don't think you can win a fight on an accidental foul. When old Eric Prindle got his nut smashed, I think it was just a no contest.
Quite frankly, I'm glad it happened, because that fight fucking sucked up until that point.
That was a dog shit fight. Everyone on Twitter and even Dana White agreed, and Dana White likes to sell that shit. So. Yeah,
but it also proved what happens when you really get kicked in the bollocks, instead of feigning for 30 seconds and then running around the ring again.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
Yeah, just like Andrew said, it's a cock shot to end all cock shots. That dude was done.
I tell you, that's a real good point Andrew just made right there. Because a lot of times they're like, oh, and they look at the ref and they jiggle their balls and they squat down and they. No, Fred and I have talked about this before. Yeah. When you take a full-on, full-force shot to your fucking balls, you dry heave and try not to throw up whatever you ate for the last 3 days, and you don't stand back up and fight. You get a big old bag of peas and put it on your nutsack and go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And then lastly, let's give KJ Noons a minute here. Dude, the guy's he's not an MMA fighter. That guy's a boxer. He should go back to boxing. Gets taken down, doesn't even bother defending, and gets the rear naked choke thrown on him. Fred, KJ Noons, what do you think?
You said it, man. He should go back to boxing. I don't even know if he'd make it as a boxer at this point. He might just be kind of done as an athlete. I don't really know, but I mean, he had a couple fun fights with Nick Diaz back in the day in Strikeforce and shit like that. So, what's up with you, Dr. Feelgood? Do you fart over there? What's your fucking nose dancing around for? I know you fucking want to hate fucking KJ Noons, but those fucking fights with Nick Diaz were fun fights. At the very fucking least, those were good fights. He does suck now, and his grappling is shite, Andrew. It's shite. But, yeah, nah, man. KJ Noons is done. And the UFC, certainly, right?
All right, well, first off, that face is because KJ Noons, they keep saying, oh, he's a boxer, he's a boxer. Andrew, I know you watch boxing. You ever see a boxer fight like that? He fucking boxes like my fucking retarded cousin. I'm sorry to fucking tell you. He sucked. That's terrible. And, Fred, you're easily amused. That's why you thought that his fights with Nick Diaz were good.
A humble go fuck yourself.
A humble one. That's a humble go fuck yourself. That was as humble as it gets for that one. Fucking. All right.
Go ahead, man.
I'd back up what you just said, Aaron, to be honest. I mean, and there's some dodgy boxers over here that I watch, and they can still probably outbox him.
That's probably why he went to MMA. He wanted to have a shot at something different.
So, okay, as far as KJ Noons, no boxing, no MMA, gone, right? I don't even think that he's World Series of Fighting level.
Nah, I don't say that. I think World Series of Fighting would do great. He'd do great over there.
If he put a mask on, he'd be fine in World Series of Fighting.
This goes in there with a Lucha Libre mask, a Nacho Libre mask. All right, let's talk.
That's not a bad idea.
Not at all.
That's not a bad idea. He puts the fucking mask on, changes his name, goes to WSOF, cleans house. Next thing you know, the UFC re-signing.
They don't even know. I don't even know what kind of name you'd give him. All right, let's talk the attendance real quick. The attendance was 3,500 or so people. They're blaming it on the economy. I'm saying it's dog shit. I'm saying it is the card just fucking sucked, and the Brazilians are getting really tired of dishing out really good money to see shit fights just because a Brazilian is on the card. Aaron, what do you think of this?
But it wasn't a real Brazilian on the card. I think that's what it boiled down to. Thiago Alves is American. Let's be fucking realistic. Mm-hmm. Usually when they have a Brazilian main eventing, it is a Brazilian from Brazil. This is a Brazilian that's naturalized to Florida. And I think that's pretty much it. And you're not, with Thiago Alves, you're not talking about a national hero. And let's be fucking honest.
And I thought about that during the fight because he didn't come out to a huge ovation. It wasn't an explosion that you expect from the Brazilians. It was just, okay, yeah, we got another fight. That's fucking great. I mean, they didn't get the explosion that a Machida or Anderson Silva or even a Vanderlei Silva used to get. It was just flat, normal, almost like a fucking card in somewhere mid-Nebraska type of pop. Fred, what'd you think?
Well, he ain't none of those dudes you just named, Jack. He ain't Vitor or Anderson or even Vanderlei. I mean, Thiago Alves is a good kid and all, but he's not that type of dude that's going to bring in a shitload of numbers. I don't give a fuck if he was born and he was Anderson Silva's next door neighbor. He ain't a big draw like that. And Carlos Condit ain't fought in a month of Sunday, so it's just a fight that was never going to, Carlos Condit's a big star and all, but he's coming off of a long fucking layoff, man. I doubt that Brazilians was that fired up to catch Carlos Condit's fucking rebound fight after 2 years. So,
yeah. In fact, I would argue Condit got more pop than Thiago did. He came out to that Tool song, and for some reason, everyone on Twitter freaked out. I was like, "Oh my God, it's fucking Tool!" All right, so look, Andrew, you watch all these events and everything. Do you think it's do you believe the economy excuse, or is it really just like like Aaron was saying, not a real Brazilian hero on the card?
I think it's both. I think the other side of it is if the economy is pretty rubbish, you drop the ticket prices. You don't just say, well, sod it, you're going to have to pay. So there was that side of it. If the economy was that bad, what were the ticket prices they were charging? And two, yeah, it wasn't a main card that was going to attract a huge amount of interest. So I think the combination of the two, plus the fact I have no idea why he's just putting on so many fights so often. I know they've got an awful lot of fighters on the cards, but if they want the numbers, they're going to have to put on better cards than they're doing. And they can't keep doing it if they're putting on cards that are that thin.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, not to mention, you make so many cards. You get, they have about 500 fighters on the roster. Injuries, contract issues, all this other shit. People getting cut. There's too many issues together. But Fred, what do you got?
Do you think the UFC cares though? I mean, what were the numbers like on Fox? Obviously, they want more people there, but was this more of a deal where they're just worried about people tuning in on Fox or Fight Pass? Do you think the UFC is worried about the low attendance record or numbers?
Andrew, you can take that one.
if I think they've got in mind what I think's the plan is, then yeah, definitely.
See, we are all in the same conspiracy theory. That's what's happening now, is that they don't give a shit about these little thin cards and this and that because they're already fucking all the way gone. They got their little golden parachute figured out. The UFC is about to become fucking UFC presented by Dubai or some other shit. That's seriously what I think. And hey, me and Andrew had a little fucking mutual cocksucker over on Twitter. When you guys think it's gonna be sold, this and that fucking little asshole, and Andrew Reed blasted it. Fucking is great. He was like, "Oh, look, it's Donald Trump's less successful brother, fucking Skippy, or whatever." Sent him, jog on. But it was just ridiculous. Then he comes back at me later and he goes, "When do you think they're gonna do the sale?" Wednesday.
3 p.m. All right, North Vegas. And in a fucking alleyway with a bag of Coke and a bunch of fucking cash in hand, and then one of them is gonna be a fucking task force fucking drug agency people. Anyway, Aaron, what you had something?
No, I wanted to know where you went off on that fucking tangent.
You know what? I
started the show.
Look, man, I'm way off today, so it's just one of those things where my tangents start and it loses wheels about halfway through. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta start cutting those halfway. Anyway. Let's talk about Bethe Correia versus Ronda Rousey. Bethe Correia coming out and talking some match, not big time shit. She's getting too cocky. She's gonna get massacred. First of all, we all fucking know that. I think she knows that. She's just trying to talk away, herself out of being scared shitless. But she came out and said this whole, I hope Ronda Rousey doesn't kill herself. And then when Ronda Rousey came back at her and said, suicide's not funny and not, shouldn't be used to talk shit. And then she said something like, "My father's gonna be with me when you get your comeuppings when we fight." Or whatever, and then Bethe Correia backtracked real hard and apologized for telling the world champ that she hopes she don't kill herself after their fight. Aaron, what kind of shit talk is this?
Terrible. Who says shit like that? I mean, I probably have one of the sharpest tongues ever, but if I'm coming up against a rival, I'm like, "I hope you don't fucking kill yourself when I beat you down." Jesus Christ, that is just, and maybe you could chalk it up to cultural difference or maybe even a translation mistake. But then for her to back up and retract the statement, no, she actually said that. So what it is, unfortunately now, Red loves a good amount of drama before a fight, and I gotta say I do too, unless it's artificial, and that's what Bethe Correia was trying to do. It was just artificial. There was no real animosity. It was just to say the wildest thing she could come up with. And then when it's like, "I had a suicide in my family, you fucking cunt." Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, that's the thing. She also said that she thinks Ronda Rousey's sports psychology is weak, which to me says no, I think Bette's sports psychology is fucked because you don't fucking backtrack and apologize when you say something. If you're gonna say something, you better fucking mean it, and you better back it up when you come when you show up to Brazil and get arm barred. And real quick, is this Brazil, right?
I'll tell you what, I would have had more respect for her if she would have been like, "Yeah, I know exactly what I was saying. Fuck you and your dad. See you in Brazil."
You know what? That'd have been great, Andrew. Obviously you're in a different country, different culture. How do you take to shit talking from fighters? I mean, do you like it? Are you against it? What do you think?
Don't like it. To be honest with you, I think it's one of those things where sometimes it can be called for, but the problem is, and we're going to get onto it, I'm sure, at some point with Fred and his fan love, is everybody's seen Conor McGregor do it. Everybody's seen how he's hyped to fight with his mouth and his trash talk, and they're all trying to have a go, and they're all shit at it.
True. The best. Look, two of the best skilled at talking shit have been Chael Sonnen and Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor, I'll be honest, is better at it. The fact that he not only been talking shit, but during one of their press conferences went over and stole the belt from Jose Aldo was fucking great. But let's ask the resident Conor cocksucker, what do you think about shit talking in MMA, in UFC specifically, especially in this Bethe Correia thing?
Okay, first off, hold on now. I love the shit talk. I mean, listen, they're fucking fighters. That's what I love about it. They're gonna fucking talk all this shit, but then they get to settle it in the best of ways. It's not like they're gonna shit and they're gonna go toss around the fucking pigskin or kick the little lollipop around like they do over in fucking London. Okay, first off, where the fuck are you from, Andrew?
I'm about 80 miles west of London.
There we go. So I'll just say you're from fucking London. That works for me.
Well, considering
Close
the
to
whole
fucking
width of
nut.
the country is only about 120 miles, I think you might have a bit of a problem.
Oh, well, whatever, goddamn it. I can't help it your country's small. It's still fucking London. Now, as far as the shit talk goes, hold on. Listen, quickly. Do you guys think that she actually knew that Ronda Rousey's dad had committed suicide before she made that comment?
No.
It's in a bloody book, isn't it?
Who the fuck? Pile of shit.
Well, who the fuck? No, but you make a good point, though. If it's in the book, so here's the thing. I think that if she truly didn't know, maybe it was a fucking stupid mistake, man. Maybe she said something goofy, and then when somebody goes, hey, whoa, what the fuck? Her fucking dad committed suicide. Maybe she did feel fucking genuinely like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where fucking, I didn't fucking know that. My bad. I wouldn't have said that shit if I didn't know your fucking dad committed suicide. But if she knew, then as much as I like trash talk, I think that some things are fucking sacred. You know, a man's children, fucking somebody commits suicide, something like that. Jesus Christ, you can leave that the fuck off the table. But yeah, fucking good bit of shit talking, a little bit of interest for the fight. I'll give you this though, Aaron. I do hate manufactured shit. Like, I like it to be more real. What the fuck? If you just genuinely think somebody's fucking annoying or stupid looking or something, then fucking that's great.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I want to go back to the Ronda Rousey book because to me it shows me how stupid people are. First off, Ronda Rousey doesn't have no time to write that book. That was written by somebody else. She might have dictated some of it. I'll tell you what, I care so little that even if Andrew, over 18 miles away from London, agreed to read it to me in his smooth-ass voice and say, good night, Master Wayne, and kiss me on my forehead and tuck me in afterwards, I would not listen to one fucking paragraph of that pile of shit. Fuck you, Ronda Rousey.
Your mind's warped.
Dude, fucking hey, you need to get into the audiobooks business, man. And I think Aaron would buy all your stuff.
I think you're way too impressed with his English accent right now.
Hey, what?
You sound so classy coming on Keyboard Warriors and talking with your purdy accent and all.
What the fuck was that? That's not English, you fuck.
That's how you motherfuckers sound. I'm saying.
No, that's how one motherfucker.
Classy.
And the funny thing is you actually sound like that a lot more than you think.
You sound like an outtake from Fargo.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Wait, hold up. What did you say? What did you say?
You sound like an outtake from Fargo.
You know what's funny?
Heard him the first time, cocksuckers.
Before the show started, I told Fred, I said Andrew's gonna come in and style on you, and he was like, nah, no way, dude. He said like 5 things, and he's destroying you so hard.
He was talking to me.
Really.
It's a good thing I can't hear you, cocksucker.
Really?
All right. On to the next fucking topic. We're bogging this shit down.
Sorry, this is getting too funny. All right, let's talk about Leslie Smith and defending her friend from getting her ass grabbed. In San Francisco, apparently a few nights ago, they were out doing whatever the fuck, and some dude came out and grabbed Leslie Smith's friend's ass, because no one's gonna grab Leslie Smith's ass because it's non-existent. So, Leslie Smith took an issue with it for some reason, went over and started talking shit to the guy. The guy spit in her face. For some reason, the guy took a swing at a girl. It's just stupid. So swung a punch. She dug down, took him down, beat the fuck out of him, and then of course Heather Jo Clark, who you had both of these girls on your show. But Heather Jo Clark came out of nowhere and sucker kicked the guy right in the nuts. It was like a cunt pump to the nuts, I guess. But it's a weird thing. You never hear these stories. Everyone always says, "Oh, you're a fighter. I bet you get into bar fights all the time." How impressed are you? Obviously, again, you've had both of these girls on your show, Aaron. What did you think of this story?
Okay, first off, the whole story's bullshit because it assumes that there's a straight man in San Francisco.
Whoa!
With zingers.
The show, that whole story just fucking oozes bullshit. And then he took a swing, and he spit at her, and fucking Heather Jo Clark jumped off the top rope. Bullshit. I'm sure that within fucking 5 minutes, that story was so fucking blown out of proportion. I'm guessing somebody grabbed an ass. Somebody got smacked. Bing, bang, boom. And now 2 girls who are highly irrelevant in the UFC are pumping the fuck out of the story. Because when's the last time anyone gave a shit about Leslie Smith? Oh, sorry, he was on the show. I understand that. Or Heather Joe Clark. When's the last time? Not until they beat the shit out of this mystery San Francisco heterosexual, which that's fucking suspect.
I didn't even think about that at all. Fred, you agree with that?
No. What a hating cocksucker. Way to come through and really take the fucking steam out of a good story. Listen, I'm going to fucking believe it. I'm going to fucking say it's true, and I'm going to fucking say that it's awesome. What the fuck? Fucking, I think it's great. Fucking drunk prick comes along, gets him a good handful of some ass, goes off, shoots his mouth off a little bit, spits it about. I love shit like that. Tells a redemption of the like. It's fucking awesome. Until you get a prick like you that comes along and is like, well, it probably didn't even happen. She probably just threw him a smack and it was over like that. Don't you fucking kill this for me, Aaron. I thought it was fucking tight.
All right. Andrew, did you get to hear about the story? And if so, what'd you think of it?
I heard about it today. If it's true, brilliant. The guy deserves a battering if he spat in a woman's face and took a swing at her. But you also think that it's slightly embellished and there might even be a PR guy involved somewhere along the line because it's one of those things. It's like the fish keeps getting bigger every time you hear the story.
True. The next part of that story is going to be like, oh, he had a gun, and his mom came out of nowhere and kicked Heather Joe Clark in the cunt, and it got fucking crazy, and someone got shot. It probably got, it'll get Dumb and Dumber. So, yeah, I don't know. I heard the story, and I was like, hey, it's a nice story. But, of course, Cesar Grazie's pumping the shit out of that because that's 2 of his fighters. And to answer your question, Aaron, the last time Leslie Smith was relevant was when she got her ear destroyed in Mexico. That's about it. That's all she ever had. And honestly, that was fucking awesome, in my opinion.
That was pretty fucking badass, let's be honest.
Yeah, and she kept saying she wanted to keep fighting. I'm like, oh, well, fucking let her. She's psycho. Whatever. All right. Moving on here. Aldo talks shit Reebok deal. This is kind of a big deal. I'll explain why I think it could be bigger. But, a champion coming out and saying that he doesn't like the Reebok deal is huge. Because most of the champions are doing fucking okay. In fact, they're doing way more than okay. Especially Jose Aldo, who's been a champion for a long time. But he came out and said that he believes they need a fighters union. Of course, he came out and said, it's like, oh, for the little guys, I'm okay. But the little guys, they need a fighters union. But you tell me, Aaron, tell me what you think of this. I think if Jose Aldo, who, by the way, should have at this point studied English and learned how to speak English at this point, it makes himself more marketable. But if Jose Aldo could actually speak English and do interviews in English, do you think? I don't know why I think that could be a factor. That would be a bigger deal of him, hating on this Reebok deal. Do you think that would help him a little bit on this with his argument?
If he could speak English?
Yeah.
No.
Because the way I see it is that marketability is huge. If Ronda Rousey comes out and says this shit, it'd be a bigger deal than if Jose Aldo said that. But Jose's been champion for a lot longer.
That's just because there's a lot of people who ride Ronda Rousey's coattails. Let's be realistic. It doesn't matter where you go. Go to Brazil, go to Guatemala, Honduras, go to Australia, go to England. We all have the same brands. You know what I mean? You can find the same stuff. If you go to the right locations, there's still McDonald's. There's still, you know what I mean, Reebok. There's still everything everywhere. So he's relevant and he's popular where he is, where they speak Portuguese. This means more because for me, it shows that he's actually brave. You know what I mean? Because most guys have stifled themselves for fear of retaliation, where you've got a champion who's about to be in one of the biggest draws in recent history, and he still comes out and says, no, the Reebok deal is shit. And that shows me that he's also an intelligent guy, because if you can look at the Reebok deal any other way, except for with Dana White's eyes, and tell me that the Reebok deal isn't shit, then either there's 2 options. You're either fucking stupid or you're a fucking liar.
Very true. I agree with that as well. Now, Fred, now we have a champion come out saying shit. Is it enough, or do you need the rest of them to get in line?
I suppose it's a step in the right direction, but no, it's not enough. And quite frankly, Jose Aldo's always been one of those dudes that's kind of been yapping his mouth off about not getting the right pay. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for fucking C-Mac, he still wouldn't be getting paid. He'd still be in a division. Come on. Okay, listen. What the fuck? Am I wrong? All bullshit aside, fellas, y'all might think he's going to lose, but if Conor McGregor had not come along, did y'all really give a fuck about the Korean zombie fight? Who? Or that big winner with Ricardo Lamas? Did you fucking save your shillings back for that, Andrew? Did you really fucking care about those fights?
Did he really
It didn't matter. Nobody cared about those fights, man. And Jose Aldo has always been one to gripe about shit like that. The Reebok deal does kind of suck for fighters, unless you're one of the few that's getting a big fucking specific fucking endorsement deal and making a bunch of money on the side. It's a shit deal for you. I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things, though. No, I don't think. I think they're going to need more than Jose Aldo. Quite frankly, I think Jose Aldo better not lose this fight to Conor McGregor, because then all this little mouth fucking he did, he very well could fucking find himself fighting for Bellator.
No, get the fuck out of here, Jose Aldo and Bellator. Anyway, Andrew, go ahead. I think you have something to say on this.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Reebok deals, Aaron hit the nail on the head. It's shit. The more I hear about it, the worse it gets as well. Now it's part merchandise, part cash, which is diluting the deal. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand where it comes from other than to line certain people's pockets.
No, you're just right on it too. There's no reason the UFC would do something and be like, oh, all this is going to the fighters. It's complete horseshit. They're getting a whole lot of something out of it. But
the thing is, it dilutes the deal. I mean, if you look at the fact that they turn around and say, right, we're going to put part merchandise into it. Well, Reebok will value one of their shirts at what, $20, $25? Well, you give 500 of those out to each one of the fighters. That's $10,000 towards the deal. Well, those shirts probably cost them $50 in total to make. So it's diluting the deal, and it's all done for shareholders, and it's done for a reason.
Good point, Aaron. You had something?
No, that's it exactly. When they talk about it's going to be part merchandise, they're basing that on retail price. They don't pay retail price. Everything is made in a sweatshop. It costs them pennies on the dollar. They can give them shoes, wind pants, sauna pants, fucking nut tucks, everything that they need. And that's not going to put a dent in that $70 million. And I'll tell you what, it was one of the biggest disappointments in the world when Dana White came out and said, you don't understand, it's part merchandise and part money. Fuck you, Dana. That's not what you said at first. You said fucking $70 million and it all goes to the fighter. You didn't say that it's gonna be part in fucking flower bouquets, and some of it's gonna be fucking Simonizing their cars, and some of it's going to be in fucking wind pants. Bullshit. Those guys already get that shit. You know where from? Their other fucking sponsors.
That's a good point. You know what? Do you think that I don't know, Aaron? Do you think there's maybe like a possibility that Dana White doesn't understand the deal himself?
No.
I doubt that.
The man is worth $300 million and took the company from nothing to what it is today. There's no stupid.
Can I fucking say this? Let me fucking say this. This is my point, and we have talked about this at length before, Aaron, off the fucking shows and off the fucking air. Okay, Eddie, you think the Reebok deal sucks?
You went like Dr. Roboto for a second. What did you say?
I know, fuck, of course, what the fuck? You think the Reebok deal sucks, right?
Yeah, it blows.
Do you think that the Reebok deal is just to make Dan White and the Fertittis and the company money?
That's what it fucking looks like to me, man. I mean, it's certainly not going to make the fighters money, but look, to me, the whole fucking deal is way better for Reebok than anybody else.
Now, why the fuck would Dana White and the Fertittas do that shit for the money? The last thing they would need is more money. What, another fucking $30 million when they're worth fucking $300 billion?
You think that?
Why would they do it for the money?
They get from the Reebok deal. It's not about the Reebok deal. It's not about the cash and the money they get from that at all.
What's it about?
Well, keep going. Enlighten me on what it's about.
They're setting the UFC up. That's what they're doing. They're setting it up because they're going to sell it.
Hey.
There we go. Fucking Jesus Christ, Aaron. I'm fucking throwing the softball as slow as it can go.
This motherfucker.
Andrew. My bad. Both of you pricks with the A names.
Again, This guy here in England is Andrew. This guy here in Michigan is Aaron. We're not the same fucking human being. Although you've never seen us in the same room at the same time.
All right. All right, let's move off of that. And then the last thing we're going to talk about tonight before we wrap this up, because I know it's getting late. Well, it's late as fuck for Andrew, but I know it's getting late for you two guys, too.
Andrew doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep ever. That's a known fact.
I try to.
The attempt is there. That's all that counts. Let's talk. The Jon Jones 911 call and the audio and the footage all came out this week, or leaked out, or released, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. First of all, it's not a huge deal because these things get put out all the time for any kind of accident. However, it is Jon Jones, and I don't know about you guys, but I found it kind of hilarious to hear the guy explaining how this tall black dude jumped offense after offense after offense after offense, came back, got a hand of money, and then ran back out. Fred, did you get to see this shit?
Yeah, I seen the video. I mean, like you said, really, it's not really all there's not a lot to it, really. I mean, it was just a little bit of the video. There was a little bit of the girl talking, the woman talking that I guess hid. They showed the car, and then they did still about him jumping the fences and shit. I tell you what fucking struck me, and the funniest thing about the video for me was the fucking cop or whoever's in there, and he's fucking filming around and shit, and they're picking shit up, and he's like, "We got a lot of condoms, Jake." And he's fucking picking up all these magnums. There's like fucking 6 boxes of magnums. I'm like, that's my boy, John. All you motherfuckers can suck it, Jack. He's out there fucking taking them big fucking African king snakes, all those white hoes, wherever the fuck he was at. He's probably having a glorious time.
Racial
That's part of the video.
stereotyping.
Wait, what'd you say, Andrew?
Racial stereotyping.
They were magnums. I didn't put them there.
It might explain some of the low testosterone levels that he had up before 182, but that's a conversation for another time. Aaron, did you get to see this stuff, and what'd you think of it?
No, I didn't bother watching it. The story's over. Fucking Jon Jones did what he did. Who gives a shit? There's got to be something more poignant than this right now.
Yeah, fuck. There probably is. You know what? Let's move on. Let's move on to. Do you think Jon Jones will actually see a day in jail? Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how bad do you think it could be?
Here, let's be honest. MMA is a joke compared to all other sports. It's not as popular as soccer. It's not as popular as football. It's not as popular as rugby. It's not as popular as just about every goddamn thing except for maybe curling. This guy is not what you call a global fucking phenomenon superstar. This is a normal dude who has a fucking serial record of doing bad shit and left the scene of an accident that hurt somebody. If he doesn't see, even if he does see jail time, which I do think he will, it won't be much, but I do think they'll have to slap him like that. I think what's going to happen is a fucking massive civil lawsuit when this woman gets her shit together, gets the right lawyers. In this litigious country, if he goes unsued for that broken wrist, I will be utterly shocked.
All right, and Andrew, I mean, bring your point of view on this. Do you think Jon Jones? Because I mean, Aaron's made a huge point that MMA is nowhere near as popular as NFL, NBA, FIFA, whatever else, any other kind of any soccer league other than the ones in Mexico who are just tiny, no one knows about. And so it's not that popular. He's not going to get a break, and if he does, it's going to be because his lawyer works some kind of fucking word wizardry. Do you think Jon Jones is going to go to jail? And how bad do you think the hit's going to be?
Well, I think it depends on exactly how friendly he is still with Dana. Because if he uses the UFC solicitors or lawyers or whatever you want to call them, then he might stand a bit of a chance. But if he's got his own, then highly unlikely. But the thing that struck me about that video was two things, actually. Because unlike Aaron, I did feel necessary to watch it. Was the fact that, one, the copper turned around and said, "Oh, it's Jon Jones. If I have to come up to that guy, I'm going to taser the fucker," which I thought was quite amusing. And secondly, the image, and Aaron will have seen the film, from Shaun of the Dead, of Simon Pegg jumping across the fences in the back garden and collapsing in a heap at the end of it, just hit me right on the head.
Now I have to go watch it. I've taken a shortcut before.
All right. And I'm still laughing about Fred talking about the condoms. Like, that's a lot of condoms. And Fred immediately goes, "Oh, it's magnums," and he was fucking a white bitch. That's what it is.
Oh, come on, what the fuck? Like, I'm...
Wait, and then he has the fucking testicular fortitude to always hit us with the racist shit. You just shut up.
I just fucking pointed out the facts. You guys always with the fucking innuendos.
I'll tell you what.
Magnums.
Hey, you know what they put in condoms? Sometimes drugs. Maybe
No.
he has a whole lot of fucking...
You know what? I don't know what they put in condoms. I got 2 fucking kids. I don't use those things.
Okay, that's it. We're done. The honesty and sheer hilarity of that comment was just too fucking good to keep going. All right, we're gonna end the show right here because that was too fucking funny. All right, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hold on, you cocksmoker. Let me get my fucking opinion before you guess cut my boy John down and all this bullshit. No,
I don't care anymore.
He ain't going to jail. You're Aaron. MMA is not fucking basketball or football. It might be better than rugby for the fucking record, but it's not bigger than soccer or anything. There he goes. I knew that would get him going. But I don't think that Jon Jones is going to jail. And I'll tell you this. He probably will get sued really good. And you know who suffers in that? My boy DC. Because Jon Jones is going to lose all of his money. He's going to lose a lot of shit. And when he does come back to fucking MMA, I think Jon Jones is going to be a fucking animal. I think he's going to come back pissed. I think he's going to come back and destroy whoever has that fucking belt.
Yeah, it's very possible. And look, everyone talks about the fact that, DC's not a paper champion or whatever, but that's a subject for another day. Real quick, couple of tweets that we actually got in. Nick, and we had Nick on the show before. Nick saying that he can't believe he's missing the debut of Andrew Reed on the show. He's upset he's missing it, but he's watching. So what's up, Nick? And
wait, before you do another tweet, Andrew, feel free to come back on the show when you figure out your fucking phone.
I've got a microphone actually somewhere hidden that's a proper line-in microphone that I can use.
Okay, find that motherfucker.
As long as we can hear you.
Yeah. All right, and Jeremiah actually tweeted in, "I know you love Connor, Fred, but damn, homeboy, you tripping."
With what?
With Connor. Did Fred just say Aldo might go to Bellator with a loss to McNugget? Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, listen, hold on, man. If he keeps fucking shooting that mouth off, maybe he loses that fight. He's not. Listen, I will say this. Jose Aldo probably has a pretty big price tag at this point, right? He's had a lot of fights under the Zuffa banner, and I don't think that Jose Aldo sells a whole lot of tickets. I don't think people in Brazil still give a fuck about Jose like that. He's their last champion. And people can hate on Conor all they want, but the truth is this fight would not be half as big as it is without Conor's build-up.
Andrew, go ahead.
Can you go and hook up your airplane picture for Fred again for me?
I will, Ray.
Because you're on glue, Fred. You really are.
Hey, and Fred, it's not their last champion.
Oh, what part of it? Somebody fucking just elaborate.
Joe Santos is champion, and he's Brazilian.
No, RDA.
No, man, he don't count. I done told you. I don't count that dude as champion, Jack. Nermy's the champ with the RDA.
Oh, get the fuck.
Fred, shut up. Eddie, wrap your fucking shit up.
All right. On that note, we'll end the show here. Thanks for joining us tonight. You can follow Fred at Kirby_MMA. Aaron Robbins is over at Stand And Bang Radio. And actually, real quick, tell the viewers about your most recent episode.
I'm not telling people nothing. I don't want to be associated with this show.
Okay, never mind. All right, and what?
You tell him, Fred. You were on the fucking show.
Ahead,
What did you take it this time?
Get your own back, Fred. Remember he put you down.
Oh yeah. He did run his mouth fucking live on the air. No, we have this was the American Top Team episode, right? We had Will Brooks in the first segment. Will Brooks talked about his Twitter beef with Patrice Pitbull running his mouth, and he fucking basically said that at some point, he didn't fucking say it, but he wants to come to the UFC. If he wins, Bellator runs out of fucking opponents, he's on his way to the UFC on the first fucking train he can take. He just couldn't fucking say it. And in the second segment, we had Jessica Aguilar. Fucking my country accent fucks that last name up every time. She's fucking done all kinds of shit. She fucking went to L.A. to fucking pursue an acting career. She was a corrections officer, which scares the shit out of me. And she's another one that we'll probably be seeing in the UFC very soon, but she couldn't actually confirm it. But great episode, the American Top Team episode.
All right, so you guys can check that out at standandbangmma.com. And last but not least, thank you so much to our guest of honor, Andrew Reed. You can follow him at Revelation137 on Twitter. Thanks for joining us, man. And for real, find that microphone and come back next week, dude.
Oh, I'll give it a go. Don't worry.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight. Everybody, you can go to crosswithme.com for this episode and everything else. And on iTunes, find us on there as well. Subscribe and shit. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and have a good night.
Later, fellas.
See ya.
Yeah.
Take it easy.